Hi there, it's Asia, and I'd like to tell you about the 5 most common types of tasks in IELTS reading. So we'll talk about the strategy for each of them and solve some practice questions together. These questions are used in very much every test. So when you see one of them, you know what to do, you'll be able to find your answers more quickly, and hopefully as a result get a higher score in your exam. When you'll be solving the practice questions, please count how many of them you answer correctly. Okay, let's get started. The very first type of task is multiple choice questions. Sometimes you have 4 options and 1 correct answer, like in this example. Here is our first practice question. Please try to solve it, pause the video, and resume once you're ready. Ready to continue? The correct answer is C. Allows the expertise of older workers to be put to use. Why? First of all, when you read the question, pay attention to any keywords. In our example, the question asks about the skill team, which is a specific name of the company, so we can find that name in the text. So this is the paragraph. That's where our answer is. Now, I've already highlighted information in different colors, so you can see that each of the 4 options was discussed in this paragraph. So let's look through the paragraph from the beginning. So first of all, we read that IBM decided to concentrate cuts on 55 to 60-year-olds. This means that option D, that it treats older and younger workers equally, is incorrect. Next, so they re-employed those who wanted to go on working up to the age of 60, which means that option B, that it allows people to continue working for as long as they want, is incorrect. Next, those people were re-employed for 88% of their last IBM salary, which means that option A, that older workers received increases in salary, is incorrect. And finally, the company offered services to IBM, thus allowing it to retain access to some of the intellectual capital. And the intellectual capital is the expertise of workers. So the expertise of older workers was put to use. This option is correct. Each exam has some multiple choice questions. And usually, the questions come in order. This means that you can read the first question, start reading your passage until you find the answer, read the next question, continue reading the passage, and so on. So that saves a lot of time. But sometimes you get multiple choice questions with 2 answers and 7 options. And if they come at the very end of your reading test, at the end of part 3, then answers may not come in order. I mean, they may be anywhere in the passage, which is quite often the case with the last few questions in the reading section. The next type of task is true, false, not given, and yes, no, not given questions. Some say that this is the most challenging type of task in IELTS reading. I personally think it's the second most challenging. They are very similar. True, false, not given questions are about the information in the passage, and yes, no, not given are about the views of the author. But in practice, they're so similar that if you answer yes instead of true, your answer will still be counted as correct. If you take a paper-based test, you can write your answers in capital letters, in small letters. You can just write one letter T or N or NG for not given. And as I mentioned before, if you answer true instead of yes, it's still all right. Let's have a look at some practice questions. Our true, false, not given question is at the very bottom. Marie Curie's husband was a joint winner of both Marie's Nobel Prizes. Please pause the video find the answer, and then resume it. Ready to continue? The answer is false. Why? To find answers to true, false, not given questions, you often need to concentrate on the detail. So have a look at the question. Marie Curie's husband was a joint winner. It means he won the prize together with her of both prizes. And now let's have a look at the paragraph. Indeed, we read that with her husband, she was awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics. So yes, one prize was joined. And then she was sole winner of the Nobel Prize for Chemistry. Sole winner means that she won it alone. Her husband wasn't a joint winner. This means that our statement is false. Now try to solve this yes, no, not given question. The statement is, if one partner in a marriage smokes, the other is likely to take up smoking. Please pause the video now. Ready to continue? The answer is not given. How do we know this is the correct paragraph? So look for the general theme. The statement is about a partner in a marriage. And we can see that our paragraph is about a married couple where one partner is a smoker. So yes, the theme is the same. But the statement is asking if the other partner is more likely to take up smoking or to start smoking too. But there is nothing like that in the paragraph. We can only read that the partner is more likely to die from a heart disease, but we don't know if they smoke themselves or not. This is why the answer is not given. I think some confusion arises from not given options. Basically, if something is not given, it doesn't mean that it's just nowhere in the text at all. You should still be able to locate a few sentences where they discuss the issue. But the precise piece of information you need won't be there. Like in our example, we still found the paragraph where they were discussing the risks from passive smoking for marriage partners. But we don't know if those marriage partners are more likely to start smoking themselves or not. So the precise piece of information is missing. Okay, true, false, not given, and yes, no, not given questions usually come in order. Apart from the case when you have a couple of yes, no, not given questions at the very end of your test. The next group of questions is missing words. That's where you'll find a short summary of the passage with some gaps. And you need to find the words in the passage to fill in those gaps. Let's do some practice. Here is the task. Complete the summary below. Choose no more than 2 words from the passage for each answer. So this means you can have 1 or 2 words for each answer. Answers come in order. You can find answer number 1 before answer number 2 and then answer number 3. And bear in mind that you must find the precise words in the passage and copy them, not just filling gaps with some words that make sense. Okay, ready? Go ahead, pause the video and find the answers. Ready? Here they are. Frustration, first-time user, and essential. Let's have a look at each of them. Question number 1. In the passage, DIY products are a source of expense and frustration. But the question asks for what feeling consumers have. An expense is not a feeling, which means the answer is frustration. Number 2, actually, these 2 sentences in the text and in the summary are pretty similar. The paraphrasing is very light, and the answer is first-time user. Please note that the article a is not part of the answer. It's already included in the summary. And question number 3. Essential information is omitted or left out, which are synonyms. In the missing words questions, it's important to locate the correct sentence and copy the words from the text. Even if you can read the question and think that, oh, this word matches the meaning perfectly, don't do that. Find the word and copy it. And bear in mind that the words around the correct answer are always paraphrased, so don't look for the exact keywords, look for synonyms, look for paraphrasing. And remember your instructions, not more than one word or not more than 2 words, which means 1 or 2 words. The answers come in order. In our case, we had a summary, but you may have a flowchart, a table, a diagram, or just notes. It doesn't really matter because the way you look for those missing words is always the same. So far, we've been talking about questions that come in order. You read the question, you find the answer, read the next question, and so on. But there is a group of questions which don't come in order, and these are matching questions. And the most famous or infamous of them is matching headings. I think this is the most challenging type of task, and most IELTS reading tests have one set of these questions. So basically, how can you recognize it? You see a box with a number of headings, and they're numbered using Roman numerals. And then you see the list of paragraphs or sections underneath. And you need to find a heading for each section or each paragraph. Obviously, they don't come in order. The first paragraph won't match with the first heading. The strategy is to quickly read all the headings first. Then read the first paragraph, read all the headings again, match it, read the second paragraph, match it, and so on. Sometimes it's not clear which heading matches the paragraph, or you may be hesitating between 2 options. In this case, just leave this question and move on to the next paragraph. Match all of them, then come back to those you couldn't answer previously, try to match them again, and then, once you've matched all the paragraphs, transfer all your answers to the answer sheet. Okay, let's practice together and match one paragraph. Here is the first paragraph and the list of headings. Go ahead, pause the video and find the matching heading. Ready? The answer is number 5, Governments and Management of the Environment. In this question, a large part of the answer is actually in the topic sentence. The role of governments in environmental management is difficult but inescapable. Compare this sentence to our answer, governments and management of the environment. So, in this case, even the words are the same. But actually, there are several other headings with very similar words. For example, number 4, the effects of government policy in rich countries. So we know that it's incorrect because rich countries were not mentioned. Similarly, option number 6 is also incorrect because it's about the policy in poor countries. And there is one option with the government, the effects of government policy on food output. So actually, we haven't read anything about the food output, so we know this option is also incorrect. It's wise to look through all the headings, even if you feel that one may match this paragraph, because another one may match it even better. Here is the next question. So I've crossed out the heading we've already used, but when you be selecting, you should still check if the heading you used may actually be an even better answer for another question. So be wise about it. Okay, go ahead, pause the video, find the answer. Ready? The answer is number 7, farming and food output. In this type of question, I usually just read through each heading one by one. Number 1, the proper effects of the new international trade agreement. So the key words are trade agreement, there is nothing about it. Number 2, the environmental impact of modern farming. We've read about farming. Have we read about the environmental impact? Not quite, but I would say that's a candidate. Let's move on. Farming and soil erosion. We haven't read anything about soil or erosion. That's incorrect. Number 4 and 6 are actually about the government policy, so those are incorrect. Number 7, farming and food output. Yes, we've mainly read about the food output, and actually all the key words are in the paragraph that haven't been paraphrased. So this is the correct answer. Let's check the next. The effects of government policy on food output. We haven't read about the government policy. And the last one is again about the trade, so it's incorrect. To understand what the paragraph is about, you need to quickly read through the whole paragraph, not just the topic sentence, because only then you will be able to find the correct heading. Apart from matching headings questions, you may get matching information questions. Those are similar, but a bit different. So that's where you need to match each paragraph with the correct person or job, in our case, with the correct statement. In matching headings, you have more headings than paragraphs, so some headings will be left unmatched. But in matching information, you actually have more paragraphs than statements, so some paragraphs will be left unmatched. We actually have 8 paragraphs and only 6 statements. Plus, have a look at this instruction line. You may use any letter more than once. In practice, it often means that you will use one of the paragraphs twice, but that's not guaranteed. Basically, 2 or 3 paragraphs will be left unmatched. The strategy is the same as for matching headings. You read the paragraph, you find the statement, you read the next paragraph, and so on. Just remember that some paragraphs will be left unmatched. And look for paraphrasing, not for exact keywords. Okay, let's try. Here is a task. Please pause the video and try to solve it. Ready to see the answer? Number 6. A comparison of past and present transportation methods. Let's have a look. The key words here are past and present. The paragraph begins by describing the transport 100 years ago. Then it says that the invention of the motor vehicle brought mobility. Okay, look at the next sentence. 90% of inland freight is carried by road. Is carried is a present simple passive voice. So this sentence is describing the transport as it is now. Hence, a comparison of past and present transportation methods. I think one of the main difficulties of these tasks is that sometimes you read the paragraph and you just can't select the correct answer. It seems that the paragraph can be matched with several different statements or headings. And the solution is to go through all of them and then come back to those you couldn't answer. And most likely one of those statements will be used for another question, and then you know your answer. That was actually exactly the case when I was selecting questions for this practice video, because I would read the paragraph and I just can't match it straight away. So for you, I selected those we could answer directly, but that may not be the case in the real task. And I'm gonna link the 4 practice questions I used for this video in the description. So if you'd like to solve them in full, you can go and find them. So in this video, there were 9 practice questions. How many could you answer correctly? Please tell me in the comments. I also have more detailed videos about the most challenging types of tasks such as matching headings and true false not given questions, so you can watch them right here. And thank you so much for watching me today. Good luck with your preparation and your exam. Bye!